2018 is not just going to be big for the US. It looks to be a momentous year in many countries around the world. For instance, Russia is having its presidential election in March. Spoiler alert, Putin wins. But barely, by like 98%. And in Iran, they may not have been planning to hold elections, but it doesn't seem like the citizens are willing to wait.
And we're following breaking news from Iran, where 12 people have been killed in anti-government protests there. Security forces fought armed demonstrators who tried to take over police stations and military bases. The protests over the government's handling of the economy started Thursday and quickly spread across the country. Several others have been wounded and hundreds have been arrested.
You know, I'm not an expert on Iran, but I think if your streets are in such bad shape that you can pick them up and throw them, that's got to be part of the problem. That's part of the problem. Now, these are the largest anti-government protests in Iran since 2009. And in case you're wondering what drove these people into the streets, it wasn't that George Soros was paying them. It was that after the US lifted sanctions on Iran in 2015, the Iranian government promised a big economic boom for everyone. But while the rich in Iran are getting richer, ordinary Iranians aren't noticing the benefits. And I know this third world stuff is hard for some Americans to relate to. But just imagine if the US government promised tax cuts for the middle class, but then only the rich benefited. I know. That would never happen, I know. But you know what I mean. Now, obviously, all the world's thoughts are with the people of Iran right now. But I can't say that all of our attention is.
North Korea's Kim Jong-un issued a warning to the U.S. during his annual New Year's address. He says the North has a complete nuclear arsenal, and the button is always on his desk, his words. But Kim says he will not use the weapons unless threatened. He struck a more conciliatory tone with South Korea, even suggesting that North Korea may compete in the Winter Games in South Korea next month.
No, I'm sorry, I love Kim Jong-un. He's the only guy I know who will threaten nuclear retaliation and RSVP to an event in the same speech. Yeah. Because he's just like, I've got a bomb, and also I'm going to come to the Olympics. That's like a guy walking into his office like, nobody move! I have a bomb strapped to my chest! Oh, and Cynthia, put me down for that potluck on Saturday, please. Yeah, I'm making Oreo brownies, and it's going to be this thing. Get it? Now, it may not seem like it, but this is a pretty big deal. It's been years since North and South Korea have had diplomatic talks, and now Kim Jong-un wants to join South Korea in the Olympics. So this could be a positive move, although I don't know if I trust little Kim, to be honest. You know, because he's probably going to be like, North and South Korea will compete together in the biathlon. You guys do the skiing, we'll do the shooting. So the big question was, how would Donald Trump react to this development? Would he support the talks? Would he stand tough against Kim Jong-un? What role will the United States play?
He says they completed their nuclear forces in North Korea, that he has a nuclear button on his desk.
We'll see. We'll see.
The president reacted cautiously at his New Year's Eve bash at Mar-a-Lago, telling guests adversaries should take notice.
We have some pretty good enemies out there, but step by step, they're being defeated. There's some bad people. Someday, maybe they'll love us. I don't know.
Have you ever noticed that when Trump has no idea about something, he just says any crazy thing that pops into his head, and then he adds, I don't know? Which is pretty slick, because then you can never call him out on it. Maybe birds can fly backward when we're not looking. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But this is a big deal. North and South Korea now want to come to the table for talks that won't include the United States. And that's the power of Donald Trump. No matter how far apart two adversaries are, they can always look at each other and say, we better sort the out before that guy gets involved. We're just going to fix it ourselves. So this could be the beginning of peace on the Korea Peninsula, or it could just be America being removed from the global conversation. I don't know, folks. We'll see.